again.
It's Friday. It's 8 p.m. I'm Chris.
I'm Richy.
I'm Daz.
And I'm Martin. Daz, run the titles, buddy.
You're the joker, the expert, the voice, but you want a background. A vision of weakness you don't.
Well, Chris is back. I'm going to make a big hurrah for him. I'm sure there was slides and Daz and the rest of them have been texting him, and apparently I have to apologize because he said he had Ebola, but he didn't. He was busy with work and whatever else. But you know what? I'm apologizing to fucking nobody. He was dossing. He didn't come on. Me and Richy have had to do all the work. Daz has been making up slides and selling them as Dulux samples, and fucking the world is a mess. But anyway, welcome back, Chris. I hope your toes healed and your laptop fingers are better and all the rest of the shite. You've had a McFlurry and it's all good and whatever else. So anyway, welcome back. And I'm sorry for being a little bit mean.
That's all right. It's okay. I've come to expect it now, Mars. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
it's absolutely fine. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
it's okay.
You know what's going to happen next? Julie's going to be on. Leave Chris alone. Whatever.
Yes, Julie. Yes, Julie.
She's on there. She's probably already commenting. She'll be there shortly. If she's not, then she's still watching. She's watching the back end of the Amigos. Then that shows where our loyalty is. Either that or Gallagher Shots have got a special on. Anyway, how are we, boys? All joking aside, and everybody that watches this knows that I'm messing around and just messing and messing.
Oh, you'll have to put in the chat. Martin told us that he was eating his tea just before the show, and Martin told us that he was having a 4-in-1. So can anyone in the chat tell us what a 4-in-1 is? Me and a couple of the other lads didn't know. But Daz, did you know, by the way? Did you know what he was talking about?
I had one once.
I'd be shocked if Daz didn't know.
Yeah. So
what is it? Is it the Irish version of an orgy or something, Martin?
No, that would be a hole-in-one.
I think we're getting off track here, lads. So the three people now in the chat, if they can answer that question from Chris.
Exactly. See, the last few weeks, we've had structure because Chris hasn't been here. We've had to full time and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So
throwing it now.
Now he's back, and the two of us have a laugh. We've gone off structure a bit.
We said we'd do something about that. So just to kind of borrow a line from Keith from NCSL. You are the weakest link, Chris. Goodbye.
Bye.
No, lads, see that?
No, see, now the feng shui is back now.
It's back, yeah.
The feng shui is back.
And you know what, lads? I'm not happy with that. I want 4. So I think it's time for a new signing.
Okay, let's bring them on.
But, no, let's first. Here's a picture earlier of our new signing, but you can't really make out who he is from there. So let's zoom in a bit closer so can anyone see who he is.
Let's have a look.
There he is. I recognize that face.
Yeah.
We know that.
Still don't know. Who is that?
Who's that? Well, let's get him on. Let's get him on and see. Here he is. Pete, you're on.
There he is.
Officially with us. Officially our new signing for the summer. And beyond, of course.
And beyond.
So welcome to Loaded, Pete.
So we have to bring Chris back on.
It'd be rude not to.
It would be rude not to. Let's bring it back on.
We bring him back on, of course we will. Welcome back, Chris.
Could anyone hear me laughing then or anything?
No. Sorry, Chris.
That's a bit like every other show when you're not on.
Yeah.
Very, very much the same thing. So yes, for those that don't know, we have, I don't know who was meant to say this bit, so we'll just wing it. So obviously initially, dude, not now, I'm on the TV. I'll come back to you in a minute. Just let me do this bit. I don't get to talk much. Daz has it scripted. Let me come back. All right, I'll come back to you in a second.
Keane thought he was the new signing.
He is, yeah. He will be in a few years. So obviously when we started this coming off the back of NUFC Matters, it was me and Daz. And obviously we hold the creative license because the other two fellas we brought on, Chris and Richy, are really the glamour. Well, Richy is, but Chris, we'll give him a little bit of credit.
Wow.
But obviously we had the 4, the famous 4. But we've got a lot more coming up. We've obviously got Loaded Mag. we've got a couple of other bits coming online. As we said before, me and Richy are going to be doing American football probably from late August, early September. We're going to be following the NFL this season because, as you can see, I'm a Patriots fan. Richy follows some other team in the NFL. But we've got lots coming up and lots of different ideas. So we kind of had a chat the last few weeks. Pete, in fairness, stepped in while the Ebola kid was missing there for a few weeks and did a really good job, not only unloaded Mike, but also held his own when we did LFW the other week. So we had a bit of a conflab, realized that we, with everything going on and everything reopening, we kind of needed an extra person to help out, not only host the shows, but help plan, drive new shows on. And so we asked Pete, would he be interested in joining the LFW team? And he said yes. So here he is, Pete. So officially welcome on a live show as our new affiliated one of 5, the famous 5 now.
Famous 5, yeah. Not about being famous these days.
Part of the team, yeah. So welcome, mate. Welcome.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Could not turn down the opportunity to play Champions League football. At the end of the day, I just, I want to look back at my career with no regrets, and I want to win trophies, and this was the right move to make. So very, very happy with my decision, and looking forward to getting started with the lads.
Pete, you do have to tell everyone the truth of what you actually said. You just didn't want to be in the same change room as Scousers, though, didn't you? That's what you really said before you committed to join the team.
Well, I'm not in the same Avon changing rooms. That's a start. So Julie asked the question: do I sell Avon? No, I don't. That's exclusively a Chris thing. So.
Can I just clarify as well for any new people who watch the show? I do not sell Avon. Everyone thinks I do.
Bullshit.
No one believes me, do they? Nobody believes.
We keep plugging them because we're hoping that somebody somewhere that watches this actually works for Avon or runs it or owns it and goes, you know what, we could be a really good sponsor for Chris. I mean, he's aesthetically pleasing. Bit of aging cream wouldn't go amiss. Stuff like that. So you never know. Never know.
Everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, lads,
right, Daz, what have we got? Let's get
into the chat, and let's go to our first topic, our section, which is loaded headlines. Okay, so first I'm going to take you back, lads. And 10 weeks ago, technology wasn't like it used to. Quality of picture wasn't like it used to. But we made a prediction. It's usually the amigos you hear making a prediction, but we actually made a prediction. So I decided to dig out that footage. So watch this little clip.
Love this.
And a triple header here with these questions. Should Spurs sell Harry Kane? Thoughts, lads?
Oh, I'll go first. I
left it there.
Yeah. I knew I said yeah. I knew I said yeah.
I would have said his legs are gone because I've said that about him all season.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
So that was back on the 3rd of March. So yeah, of course he wants to leave now. He's come out and says he wants to leave. So just some bit of background. Harry Kane, 334 games, 220 goals for Spurs. 0 trophies, and that's the key point. He wants to win trophies. So just another little picture. So Harry Kane's next club. Looking at the odds, can't see the top one, but it's not to sign or agree a new contract. Spurs 5-4, Man City 6-4, Man United 7-2, Chelsea, Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Juventus, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Yeah, interesting that one. But so where do you think he would go, lads?
I think he'll go to City. I think obviously Aguero's gone. City need a front man. Kane, I don't think. Barcelona and the likes don't have the money. Barca are skinned. Spurs, I think, need to raise the funds. They're not going to get $1 billion for him, but they get a fair chunk for him, I would imagine. So I don't think he's ready to go abroad. I think if he goes to somewhere like City, he's going to push he'll push the goals and he'll be close to Shearer's piece, I think. So I think there's a bit of that in that. I think he sees that as a challenge, and signing off as the highest goal scorer in the Premier League maybe is where he wants to be. If he goes to City, look, he's going to win trophies. So yeah, for me, I think it's City. He could play. You know, Pete, we were talking off air. You know, you were talking about the 4-3-3. Where does he fit into that? He could play probably either side of that three. He could play forward. He could play just off it. So I think there's a few formations that City could run that Kane could fit into. So Judy
didn't see the picture at the start. See if you're on time, Judy.
Throw the picture back up. Where's the picture? Throw it back up there. Yeah, we did a big intro, Julie.
Put the other one on as well.
Okay.
Funny that.
The zoom one or the first one was this.
That
was Pete.
That was
Pete. Ground. There. And then we zoomed in. There he is. And now we have him in real life.
That was good. That was totally like a bit of a Father Ted situation. Those ones are small and those ones are just far away. But yeah, so I think City, I can't see Kane going abroad just yet. He's a young family. So I'm not sure what's going on. You have that, pal.
I think one of the things that I don't know that whether he will go to City, because I think with the buyout clause that Haaland Haaland's got in his contract next year, and how long he would be able to be part of City, and how well they've worked without a number 9 this year, whether they will go and test the water for Kane, because Man City aren't renowned for paying hundreds of millions for players. You know, they're roughly around the 50, 60 million mark. Now, that ain't going to buy Harry Kane, unfortunately. You're probably looking at least 100 million to start testing the water, in my opinion, to get, even for Daniel Levy, bat an eyelid sort of thing. I think the only team that would probably be able to financially afford him, Man U might be able to do it over here. Abroad, obviously Barcelona, Real Madrid, they're probably struggling financially to buy. PSG would probably be a team who could look to afford him. And can you imagine the front three of Neymar, Mbappe, and Kane through the middle? You'd be guaranteed to win trophies at PSG, because obviously they walk the league pretty much every year on the cups and stuff like that. They do well in the Champions League every year. That could be another possibility. But I don't know. I don't think he will go to City. I think they'll wait another year. The false 9 that they had this year with Jesus has worked well, and then to get Haaland next year with the buyout clause that is in his contract, I think they'll wait another 12 months and go for Haaland himself.
Interesting.
Good call.
Yeah. Daz, just throw that image up again for us.
Yeah, you love the ads.
I do. Do you know what? I'm going to throw a curveball here, because after what Martin and Rich have just said, I think I can't see him staying at Tottenham, because I think he's made it clear now he wants out. City, before we started talking about it, City was probably the most logical one for me. But yeah, I totally take Rich's point about Haaland. Maybe going forward they'd be looking at someone a bit younger if they were going to splash out, and with that release clause, that's obviously going to play a factor. Man United's a funny one, as Rich was saying. As Martin was saying, Pete was talking about it off air, and it's a good point what Pete said. Obviously about Cavani, and don't forget they've got Greenwood there, they've got Rashford, they've got Martial. So they might have to offload maybe Martial to bring Kane in. I'm sure most clubs are going to be interested in Kane, there's no doubt. But I think what would be an interesting one is maybe Chelsea. We haven't spoken about Chelsea, but they've got Werner there at the moment, who for me doesn't look like an out-and-out centre forward. They've been playing Kai Havertz there as well. Maybe having Werner on the left of the three. The club that would benefit most, I think, would be Chelsea. Whether or not they bid for him, I don't know. Real Madrid, I don't think they could afford him, as the lads have already mentioned. PSG's an interesting one. Possibly you could even say Bayern. I mean, Lewandowski, he's been fantastic, hasn't he? But they're going to have to replace him at some point. Barcelona are apparently getting Aguero, so I doubt that they go for Kane, and plus they haven't got the money. Juventus, I don't know. I'm not even sure they've got the money. I tell you a lot, Liverpool could really do with them, because Liverpool need to freshen that front three up, and Liverpool, at the moment they've got Firmino, and he's not an out and out number 9. And I think I said, when it wasn't last season, I think it was the season before, saying Liverpool could really do with an out-and-out number 9. And if they had someone in there who was getting 20, 25 goals to help Salah and Mane on either side, I'd if I was Liverpool manager or Liverpool owner, I'd certainly be wanting Kane. But again, Liverpool won Champions League, won the Premier League, and they've still not got the money, have they? I know they bought Jota, but it wasn't mega money. This is the problem that we've got now in COVID times, isn't it? Because no one knows really what, how much financial clout teams have got. And I suppose that's why we're all so excited over the takeover for Newcastle, because obviously the money issues won't really apply to us, and we'll be able to take advantage of that. I noticed the other day, and I'm sorry to go slightly off topic, but I noticed the other day that that Soumare, who we were after from Lille, apparently Leicester have agreed to 21 million fee for him. We offered 35, they accepted it, and he didn't want to come here. And now they reckon the Leicester deal's done for 21 million. So if you're talking 33% drop in price, could you argue that Kane's only worth 100 mil? I don't know.
I think just one thing before Pete goes on. Sorry, Pete. In regards to what I was saying about PSG, the thing about Daniel Levy, there's a rumour going on that apparently he's already saying he doesn't want to sell to the big six because obviously the direct competition for Spurs, obviously. But the other interesting one about PSG is we've got to remember that Pochettino's the gaffer there now, and obviously he's got a very, very good relationship with Pochettino. So I think that's definitely an interesting one. Sorry, Pete.
No. It's a great point, Rich, and that's what I was going to touch on. I actually think the battle with Hayne and Levy is exactly that. It's that he's going to want him to go out of England, and Harry Kane's going to want to stay in England. Now, it's been well documented that Harry Kane wants to beat Alan Shearer's goal-scoring record, Premier League goal-scoring record. So he's going to want to stay in England in order to achieve that. Daniel Levy's going to want him to leave, and if he goes outside of England, there's only, for me, one or two places that he can go. One is Real Madrid, and the other is PSG. Is PSG a big enough draw with the league that they play in? Not really, but they're getting to the latter stages of the Champions League, and with him in that team, he could be the difference to take them to the next level. And that's what PSG want more than anything. Their owners want that more than anything at the moment. They're desperate for that elusive Champions League win. Marseille are hanging over their heads because they've got a European win and they take the mick out of them season after season. I know that because my brother's a season ticket holder. He has been for nearly 10 years now. So he reminds me of that all the time. However, I think there's only one team that I believe that he's going to go to, and I think it'll be Man United. And I think they need him. Man United need him. They need that frontline number 9 striker. Anthony Martial has up and down seasons, not enough to be at the top. If you're a team chasing Champions League football around 4th, 5th spot, he's ideal striker for that, but they want to be winning trophies and winning leagues. And for me, Martial's not that guy. Cavani's, as I've talked about before we went on air, an outstanding talent, but he's 34, 35 years old. And he's not going to be able to do it for the next 3 or 4 years at that level. Harry Kane at 27, 28 years old is prime. He's ready. He's in the prime of his career, ready to play the best football of his career. What better striker do you need with Rashford on one side, Greenwood on the other, to really tear up the Premier League next season? And I think they'll go all out for him. I do agree with Rich. I think that Man City will wait and get Haaland on a slightly cheaper fee of 25, which is what his buyout clause is next summer, 2022. And I think that's what we're waiting for. That's my personal opinion. I mean, Bayern Munich haven't got the money to sign him. Juventus are about to play Europa League football this season and could lose Ronaldo on the back of that because he's not going to. The amount of money he's going to lose for playing Europa League. The other teams just haven't got the money to sign him. And I think Man United and Man City are. He's not going to go to Chelsea, in my opinion, just because of the London issue and the rivalry there. I think that's going to be too much of an issue for him. He's going to want to leave on relatively good terms. And if he goes to another team outside of London, I think he could get away with that.
Cheers, Pete. Another option that no one has mentioned is, I don't think this will happen, but some kind of a loan deal where Spurs get players in return, and either Kane goes to the PSG for a year in the Champions League, or I can't see him going on loan to a Premier League team. But something like that, Daniel Levy is going to be a very hard man to negotiate with to try, especially if they don't want him to go. So, but again, as Martin has mentioned before, they do need the money to pay off at least one installment of that stadium. So, look, we'll see what happens. I'll move on.
The other thing, Pete made a good point about if he goes to Man United, obviously Rashford one side, Greenwood on the other. Does the form of Jesse Lingard at West Ham this season on loan pose a question back to Ollie as to whether Lingard deserves another shot back at United on one of those wings, because he's been outstanding? So if you had Rashford one side, Lingard the other, and a Harry Kane just in through that, Fernandes in behind him, Pogba. Ooh, tell you what, that's not a bad front line.
You know what? It's not a bad shout, because Man United are crying out for a right-hand sided forward, because they play Rashford there sometimes, but Rashford plays better on the left. He hates playing.
He likes to come inside and turn out light. Yeah.
That's his game. That's what his game's built on. Greenwood is the only natural right-sided of that forward line. Mata, I think, is going to be released in the summer. I think his contract's up. He had another year last summer, and he's barely played this year. So I think he's going to go on a free. On another separate subject, I would take him as a Rafa signing if we got a takeover. I'd love him at the club. I think he's such a talented player with experience. But he's going to go. We haven't got that other right. I say we, not me, because I'm going to support Man U, but they haven't got another right-sided forward. There's talk about Sancho. I don't think if they're going to pay that money for Kane that they're going to go and get Sancho as well. So it's either one or the other. Lingard as a right-hand side option is fantastic. Or they cash in at 30+ million and make West Ham pay big money for him and invest that towards Kane. Could be an option.
Yeah.
Food for thought. Be interesting summer.
Yeah, sure. Always is. Okay, let's move on because we had loads and loads of headline topics. So I'm going to go to the next one. It's managerial change. Roy Hodgkinson is going to resign. Why? So yeah, let's fair play to Roy. He's been around a while, and it's nice the way Crystal Palace did it, actually, I think, as well. Like Newcastle back in the days could have learned a lesson when it came to Sir Bobby Robson, the way that ended as well. But some of the clubs Roy has been at, he's been at all over the place, and the international management as well. Just want to leave that there as well. And just then look, and the bit that you like, Chris, the odds and who could replace him. And of course, we'll get onto it as well. Actually, you know what? I might even throw this into the same topic when we're talking about managerial appointments. The other change then as well was Nuno. Nuno's going to leave at the end of the season for Wolves. So I didn't grab the odds for the Wolves manager, but let's talk about it all together. Managerial merry-go-round. What's your thoughts, lads?
Yeah, I think look, Hodgson's been a stalwart. He's done well with the clubs he's been at, but I don't want to sound too bad, but it's just another dinosaur leaving the Premier League. Look, I know it sounds really bad. I hope he has a great retirement. He's probably got loads of money. But along with Allardyce, Steve Bruce and him, like, the time has come. The analytics have changed. The game has changed. When you put him up against the likes of a Pep or some of the other, even Brendan Rodgers out there, his footballing knowledge and skills are not where football is now. So he's had a cracking career. He looks well for 47, but I think it's time to hang up the boots and the big Roy coat and go and enjoy his retirement. Great, obviously, when he managed England. He's been in some amazing clubs and been all over the place. But yeah, look, I wish him all the best in retirement. But time to go, Roy.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same as what Martin's just said. He's been around the bush. Like he's managed nearly as many teams as Sam Allardyce has as well. But you look at that list, and even managed Liverpool, and to be fair, he didn't really set the world right there either, did he? So, I think his experience. He did get the England manager's job. The problem is, like Martin said, he's a dinosaur. He's way into his 70s now. The style of football's changed, and I've seen Crystal Palace a few times this year, and it's nearly as bad as watching Newcastle every single week. Until the last few weeks where we've been pretty decent, but for the pretty much 3/4 of the season, it was absolutely dying across every single week. But we've got a lucky win against Newcastle up at St James. I think we thoroughly deserved to win that game, and we just couldn't take the chance that night. And they were abysmal down there when we beat them 2-0. I know Zaha's had his best goal scorer in the season, and they rely a lot of goals off Mihailovic in the middle of when he obviously penalties and stuff. But I don't know, even the team itself, it just doesn't set the world alight. And I know there's a lot of them who've got their free agents this summer, so it's going to be a big turnover at Palace this summer, regardless of his replacement. I know Lampard is meant to be his favourite. I think that's what I said when you had that picture up there, Daz. But I know they were talking on Talk Sport this morning on the breakfast show, and they were saying that the big rumour that people are probably going to go for is actually Steve Cooper from Swansea. They like his style of football. Obviously, he's going to, I imagine, he'd be on a cheaper wage than what Lampard would be as well, with him not having Premier League experience. So that's one to watch on that regards Nuno. I think that's a bit of a turn up for the Brooks. I don't know whether it's just through frustration, whether it's either his choice or whether it was mutual consent, whether it's been more the directors pushing him out, or whether he's just said I've had enough sort of thing. But I think if it's the directors and the board that's pushing, I think that's a bit harsh, because they've got to remember that they've had the best player missing pretty much all season. Raul Jimenez. He's the best goal scorer. And you take your best goal scorer team, like we found with Callum Wilson, or any team if you take, like Spurs without Harry Kane, which we'll obviously probably see next year. You don't do that sort of thing. And I remember when we stood in for Martin and Chris, when I think me and Jer and Daz, we talked about Klopp, Liverpool, and obviously Liverpool's season this year. And they said, obviously, look, you've got to look at all the injuries that they've had. If they can get Champions League football, that would be a hell of an achievement. And obviously, you want a big shoe that the board doesn't over. And sure enough, the board hasn't, decided, with a twitch to get the gun and pull the trigger. They're stuck by Klopp. And it looks like, after the way the fix is probably going to go this weekend, they should beat Palace at Anfield with the home fans behind them. And you'll get back to Champions, which is an absolutely tremendous achievement by Klopp, bearing in mind the injuries that have decimated that squad. And sometimes you just need to stand by a manager. So I hope it's the Wolves board haven't pulled the trigger, and it is more that Nuno wanted to leave. But I see who we bring in. Hopefully, it's not someone who's that we want to take over our club.
Cheers, Rich.
Yeah, it's an interesting one with Hodgson. I mean, he as Martin said, pardon the expression, but he is a little bit of a dinosaur, isn't it? And it is time to move on. But I think he's had a good career, and to be fair, he's always kept Palace well away from that relegation zone. Certainly in the last few years, they always end up finishing like mid-table. Don't get me wrong, with like 10 games to go, they're normally there or thereabouts, but then they always manage to pull away. And I think he has made some really good signings for them. Like I was a big fan of them bringing Milivojevic in, as Rich mentioned, good player. Gary Cahill, I was absolutely shocked that no other clubs went for Gary Cahill and that Palace just managed to nick him. I thought that was a really good signing. And obviously, they've got Eze, which he's going to be a big miss next season, by the way. He came in from QPR. He was linked with Newcastle, and he looked a real prospect, but he's had that nasty Achilles injury, so that's going to be a big problem for them. And then obviously, there's a few players that they probably need to move on. I think Zaha, his heart's not in there anymore. Although interestingly, as Rich said, it's his highest goal scoring season. Where had I not known that stat, and I heard it the other day, I would have said that this was probably one of Zaha's poorest seasons, based on what I've seen. But when he's actually got the goals to kind of back up the fact that he's still trying and stuff, his body language just doesn't look good for me, and he's that kind of player where his attitude concerns me. So if I was the owner or the manager, I'd certainly be looking to move him on pretty quick and cash in.
That's the problem with Zaha. With any club he's been to, his attitude stinks.
Yeah. It's like he's owed a bigger move, and he's had that big move and it didn't work out.
Chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. And being a Palace fan, that mustn't be nice, because they must all adore him, but then at the same time they must think, you know what, you're our talisman, and you just give this impression that you just want to leave and that you're too good for the club, and that mustn't be nice as a fan to see. In terms of the new manager, I think I've said, I forget which show it was, but I think I mentioned that Frank Lampard. If I was the Crystal Palace owner or chairman, as Steve Parish, I'd be all over Frank Lampard, because I think he didn't really get a fair crack at the whip at Chelsea. I mean, obviously Thomas Tuchel's come in. And he's really doing the business. I was laughing before, by the way, Daz, when you brought that up. I noticed Valerian Ismail 16-1. Is Valerian Ismail, is that his brother, or just below him?
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I didn't type these up.
No, I know you didn't. I know you didn't. No, it just made me laugh. But
twins are at 23-1.
Yeah. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, I think Frank Lampard. But as Rich said, Steve Cooper's been linked. Obviously, done a really good job at Swansea this year. It'd be interesting as well what happens with Freddie Woodman in goal as well, because they've had him on loan and he's had a fantastic season. I think he got goalkeeper of the season in the EFL. So well done to him for that. But in terms of Palace, their next managerial appointment is going to be an important one, because I think Roy has kept them safe and he's made sure that they are a solid, steady outfit in the Premier League. And if they make the wrong appointments, they could find themselves being dragged into a relegation battle next season. I could really see it, especially if Zaha leaves. If those players, don't react positively to the new manager, it could all go horribly wrong for them. So it's an important one. And just to touch very briefly, because I've gone on a bit, just to touch very briefly on Wolves, Nuno leaving's a big loss, but it doesn't really surprise me that much, because if Wolves hadn't made the start that they had, their form in the last 10-15 games was worse than ours. Like, every game they were losing. And they were just dropping like a stone, and then they picked up enough points in the end. They've got some really good players in the squad, like Palace, but probably better. So I'm not so much worried about Wolves, but again, it's an important appointment that they need to make, and it'll be interesting to see who they bring in. I'd be very shocked if it wasn't a Portuguese manager. That seems to be Portugal all the way for Wolves. So it'll be interesting to see who comes in. And I know we talked about it pre-show, Daz, as well, and I'm just going to bring it up now. Ranieri's not renewing his contract with Sampdoria. He signed a 2-year contract. He wanted him to sign an extension. He doesn't want to. So it wouldn't surprise me if one of these clubs has sounded him out, because I think he'd jump at coming back to the Premier League. I really do. So it wouldn't surprise me if maybe he went to Palace or possibly Wolves. I doubt he'd go to Tottenham, but you never know. But yeah, it's already, and we haven't even finished the season. It's already looking very interesting for next season, isn't it?
Yeah, to Wolves.
There you go.
I hope so.
Sorted. Rafa does.
It's the only Midlands club he has a manager, isn't it? He's done Villa, he's done Birmingham.
yeah. Get the full
house. He's got the treble, yeah.
Please.
Lampard, I agree with Keith Roll. Sorry, Pete, just before you go. Right. Keith Roll, Lampard to Crystal Palace would be a great appointment.
Yeah.
Because he could re-establish himself, as Keith said, get them up to a nice kind of top 10 team, get himself back in the league, earn his wings, and move on then again from there. So I'd love to see Lampard back in the Premier League, to be honest.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, sorry, go on, Pete.
Pete, go first.
No, from a Wolves perspective, I think it was the right decision for Nuno to go. He hasn't had a good season. I know he's lost his best striker, but they've got Rafa Silva and a number of other players that could come in and do a job. They've got some talented players, but how bad they've been. I mean, we're only a few points off them, which says everything really about their performance this season. I'll be honest, I'm shitting myself with the thought of Rafa going there. Chris made a good point, I think, about a Portuguese manager. Well, a Spanish manager manager could do that job, because they tend to sign Spanish or Portuguese players to play for their team because of their board and their owners and the links and the agents and who they've got to pull those type of players in. And who better to have the Spanish wizard, the guy that knows everybody in terms of his scouting network, to take over that project. And I do worry massively about that. The only alternative for me is Sergio Conceição. I don't know if I pronounced his surname right, but he's the Porto manager, who's had a fantastic season, particularly in the Champions League. Obviously, not knocking out Juventus on the way. He's had a really, really good season, and they're talking about him a lot. And he would be a natural pull to put him away from Porto into the big leagues. So that's a potential option there. With regards to Palace, Roy Hodgson is perfect for Palace. He has been perfect for them. When he had an opportunity at Liverpool, he didn't do well. He struggled. Hodgson's been perfect for them. However, we cannot get past the fact that he's had a lot of money to spend. I mean, I think he spent 18 million on Van Aanholt. He spent the best part of 30 million on Benteke. He spent, 13, 14 million. Well, he didn't spend it, 13, 14 million on Andros Townsend. And there are numerous other players. Eze, you could go through. They've spent a lot of money. Zaha's on 130 grand a week. More than any of our players at our club. I think Wilson's on 110, 115 at us. He's the most expensive. They've spent money, and they're still in and around us after all that money that they've spent. If only Rafa had the sort of money that Roy Hodgson had, who knows what could have happened. So I think it's the right time for him to leave. I think Lampard is probably the right option for him. Lampard or a Howe. I think Howe will probably end up at Celtic if he doesn't end up at us. Without a takeover, and I think it's a good move. I think Zaha, I feel sorry for Zaha to a certain extent. He's a moody fucker. Let's be honest. He is. He just is. He just moans and groans about everything. But he had his opportunity at Man United and got kind of screwed over with David Moyes. Didn't really give him a chance. So he went back to Palace to regain his form and his confidence. He did that. But then I think he's been denied his move. There was a lot of talk a couple of years ago. He was very close to going to Arsenal. He's actually an Arsenal supporter, and he wanted to go there, and he was denied that. And I think that's really grinded on him, that he wasn't allowed that move after the service that he's given them. And he is their talisman, but he should have been given the opportunity to move on. But he's 28 now, and he's thinking, you know what? I can play at a better club, a better standing club than Crystal Palace. And I know we've been linked with him. And I think if we got a takeover, I wouldn't mind having him in our team, because I think he's a talented player. And I think he's the kind of player that wants to play at a big stage, 52,000 fans, a big club like Newcastle who are going places. I think he'd snap his hand off to come and join us. But I think he's ready for the next move in the prime of his career. So I do feel sorry for him. But the last thing I'll say about Palace, you look at their free transfer list at the end of this season: Benteke, Cahill, Andros Townsend. I think there's a number of others as well. Van Aanholt, yeah. Van Aanholt, and there's at least 3 or 4. Mamadou Sakho, who I forgot, they paid 23 million for him from Liverpool on a free transfer. They have got a serious, huge amount of free transfers, and they've got no real money to actually replace them. And they're big players for them, players that are playing regular. So Palace are under the cosh big time. And I think Roy Hodgson's left at the perfect time to give whatever manager a new chance to figure out all that mess.
Palace for relegation next year. Let them take up one of the spots.
Before we get to the sponsors, guys, I was going to say an interesting one for the Wolves one to watch out for with the Portuguese connection. Paulo Fonseca, who was at Roma. That'll be an interesting one to see whether he might go to Wolves with the Portuguese connection.
Yeah, I think, Richy, they need to get someone Portuguese in. Half their squad are Portuguese, or if not more. So, yeah, who's gonna talk to them or get a good translator? Okay, we're gonna cut the headlines short because we've only actually gone halfway through the headlines. We're gonna load the leaderboard towards the end of the show, and we'll go straight to the sponsors, and off we go. So, Martin, scheduling is going great. Martin, tell us about Mind, Body, and Soul.
Yeah, Mind, Body and Soul, or anybody that sees us on Twitter, we keep putting MBS. We don't have a direct link to a certain Saudi prince, but Mind, Body, and Soul, Adam and the guys, Aloe does. Obviously, help people with mental health issues, in particular men or women. Also help and have been helping recently. You'll see if you follow any of us on Twitter, you'll see that we put stuff across where they've actually been financially helping people out in these tough times. So the guys are absolutely 100% non-profit charity. They run a very cool website on the Tinternet, www.mindbodysoul.uk. You can go on there. You will occasionally see me and the gorgeous Richy, sometimes adorned in Mind, Body, and Soul attire, from hoodies to T-shirts. But go on there, get yourself a few bits and pieces, and all the money goes back in to helping people out and helping fund the charity so that the guys can do their work. So thank you for their continued support. And I think we will be doing, when are we going to do something? Because we have got a Mind, Body, Soul giveaway to do at some stage. We've got a T-shirt and a couple of other bits and pieces.
We need to plan a meeting and sort all that stuff out.
We do.
There's a few ideas knocking around.
There is, we need to do that.
But
thanks for their support anyway.
Exactly. Thanks, Mind Body MBS. So shout out then to Away Day Radios. Of course, we go out Saturday, which is tomorrow now. We better get this show done and dusted and get it to the lads tonight so they can put it on the radio from 1 to 3 tomorrow. Pete, listen back. It's great to hear yourself on the radio on a Saturday as well, and interact with in the chat if you wish as well. So shout out to Dino, who was in the chat there earlier, and Gary and all the DJs and everyone with the Away Day Radio. And we're up on their website as well, actually. We have a nice little page going there on the website and all our shows and everything there. So also coming up for Away Day Radios is they've got a show coming up on the 29th of August in Coventry. I mentioned it last week, but I wanted to bring it up again because one of the bands is coming on tonight because we've got Alex from the Pacemakers actually sitting in the room at the moment. We'll be with you in 5 seconds, Alex. But we've got to have the Drift join us later on, and that's kind of half the reason why we're moving things around, because they have only a short window to be with us. So the Drift are going to be playing with and that concert with the Institutes and of course J10 and a few more. So that's Away Day Radios. And
let's give a wave to those who are listening.
Oh, we always give a wave to people who listen on radio.
So if you're listening, we're waving.
Come watch us just to make sure we are waving. We are waving. Retro Souls. Who'd like to talk about Retro Souls?
I can, or anybody. I'm easy. Retro Souls. Lee, who we follow through Twitter, he's only on Twitter. You won't get him on Tinternet. But at Retro Souls UK on Twitter, independent retailer of Adidas originals, brand new trainers and pre-owned. He puts them up, gets them sorted out, and they all are all 100% authentic. Actually put a few tweets up today of stuff that he's doing. He's a rake of stuff going up on Twitter later on over the next kind of 24 hours. So if you're looking for a snazzy pair of runners and trainers, get on to him. Tell Lee we sent you, and he'll look after you. He's got some good merch on there. So thanks for their continued support.
Nice one, Martin. Thanks everyone for watching. Like and comment, and anyone listening as well, go onto our YouTube page and hit that subscribe button. That would be great for us. And you as well. You get all to learn who all the shows are appearing, because we moved it to Friday night tonight with the games on Wednesday. So next, I'm going to go to Richy. Are you ready?
I am, mate. Loaded band favorites.
Nice. And Richy, of course, last week we had Sam and Jer, and anyone interested in who won that battle? It was Jer. Now there's talk that he might have been cheating. I'm not sure. There was a few fake accounts coming up and getting towards the end. I must pull him up on that now. I don't think it was him, but he was recruiting people to help him push him over the line. We said cheating's allowed. We allow Anthony here for this one. But so Jer won it. No, fair and square. Jer won it. I'm only messenger. So Jer safely through to the next round and joins Paul Oxley and Jack Cattell. So tonight we have round 4, and let's bring Alex on. Alex from the Pacemakers. Hey, Alex.
You all right, guys? How are you?
Welcome back,
Yeah,
buddy.
all right, mate. Yeah, welcome
Hi,
back.
sir, mate.
Evening, Alex. All right, welcome back.
Nice to be back.
Good. Yeah, Derby survived on the last day.
Oh,
Let's get that in straight away.
yeah. I was saying to my dad just before the last game, when we weren't really in control of, if we could go down and stuff, and I said maybe it was a good idea if we did go down. Because I was thinking about Leicester when they went down to League One and they thought it was terrible at the time, and then they've come up and they're competing with the top 6 now. So it was nail biting, but we got there in the end. It's just all the uncertainty around the club at the minute. It's just a bit embarrassing.
It's a mess, really, isn't it?
Are you happy with Rooney, Alex?
Well, last time I was here, I said we'll give him a chance. I still think he needs that. But I think in my heart, deep down, I think we need someone different as the manager. Someone with experience, someone who knows how to get good players in and talk to them. I feel like Rooney is still learning. Great as a coach, but we'll see.
As a manager.
Yeah, maybe not yet. Yeah.
I think the interesting thing, Alex, though, about Rooney is, though, he hasn't had a chance to bring his own players in yet, because obviously he was working with court players and stuff like that, and that's an interesting one because he's going to have lots of connections at like Man United, people who possibly can bring in the loan. So it might be interesting to at least give him a season or start the season off and see what he can do. But at the end of the day, he's got a fantastic goalkeeping coach and Shea Given, so you can't really ask for more than that.
Nah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's the same as like when Lampard was here. All those loan signings we got in, they transformed our team. I think that's the best I've seen us play in 10 years. Obviously, Lampard left for Chelsea. So, there's potential there. Like I said, give him a season. He's not had a chance yet. And hopefully, with the crowds back in the stadiums, and it'll be better than last season. I think last season was very poor.
Yeah, no, you need to get Derby back Derby back to the big time because it's actually a really good away day. I've had some really good away days in Derby, so look, we'll keep watching for Derby and hopefully you boys get back up. If not, we'll have another season like we did, and we might meet you. We might meet you in the Championship next season. Who knows?
Alex, we'll get on to your team. Thanks for putting together the team first. You're interacting with Richy there, and actually you're going to take on Richy tonight in the head-to-head. So let's take your team first, Alex. Walk us through this.
Okay. So some players were obvious with this, but some took me a while. Sat at work thinking about this. So I've gone with Schmeichel, which I think it's quite a common choice because such a great goalkeeper. He's a beast. And I've gone with Ivanovic at right back. Right back was a difficult one to choose because not really a standout one, but I've never ever seen Ivanovic have a bad game. He used to score the odd goal here. He was solid and a little bit underrated. So I thought I'll go with Ivanovic right back. And then I've gone with Vidic and Terry as his centre backs. I mean, John Terry won so much with Chelsea, great leader. And Vidic just edged it for me over Ferdinand. I always preferred Vidic. I thought he was solid defender.
Good choice. I don't like Ferdinand.
Yeah. Agreed.
He's all right. And then Ashley Cole, just solid left back. I mean, best left back probably in the Premier League of all time. That's why I put him there. He was obviously Arsenal, then Chelsea, played good for England. Midfield is when it started to get difficult. So I've gone with Scholes, who I thought was always an underrated player. I think you see that. He was like the player's player. He always had... I think Iniesta once said that he was one of the best players he played against, which is quite telling because I think Iniesta was, one of the best midfielders of all time for me. And then I put Vieira in there as well. For put in there over Gerrard. I was sort of putting them together as like how they would play together. Because I was, oh, should I just do it as like the top 11 players, or do I do it as, if I was going to sort of manage them?
Manage him. Yeah. Cool.
So I put Vieira and Scholes together. Lampard, in the top 10 Premier League scorers of all time, and he was a midfielder. So I think, he has to go in there. And then sort of left forward, right forward, Henry and Ronaldo. Henry, just unbelievable. When you were watching him, he's probably maybe the best player the Premier League's ever seen, in my opinion, but I might be wrong. And then Cristiano Ronaldo, he was young, he was learning, but he was hot. He was really good, and he used to do one too many step overs here and there, but he used to score some great goals. And then the difficult one, I didn't go for Shearer. She'd probably hate me for.
Thanks for coming, Alex. That was Alex. Yeah, if he doesn't go for Shearer, he's not coming back on. Sorry, Alex. Go on.
Sorry, was that the wrong answer? Don't get me wrong, Shearer is unbelievable. But for me growing up, I really liked Aguero. And was it like 10 years in the Premier League? And I was like, it's gone really fast. And yeah, I've gone with Aguero. Just his pace, his finishing, and that great goal that he scored to win the Premier League title. That memory is in my head. So I've gone with Aguero.
Nice.
So that's my sort of team.
That's your team, Alex. Nice one. Good call. Yeah. And we'll go straight to yours, Richie, and talk us through yours, and then we can look at them head to head.
I'll tell you what, Rich, that's some team, that, mate.
It is, yeah.
Well, Alex is on mine.
No.
I have to say, I like Alex's.
Course, I like Alex's.
I like Alex's midfield pairing of Vieira and Scholes. I think that's top notch.
Okay. I did my own one myself ages ago, and I put Ivanovic right back as well, Alex. I think I totally agreed when you said that he was underrated because he doesn't get the credit he deserves. And for a few years under Mourinho, Ivanovic at right back was one of the best in the world. He was superb.
Yeah. You're on. So next week, Chris, that's you're coming on next week.
I can do it.
Okay.
Go on, Rich. Just have a look at this team, mate. Oh.
What do you think, lads? And I need to go through that. Nice. Right, I'll start off. I think I totally agree with Alex. I think pretty much everyone I've got so far. Schmeichel was hands down the best goalkeeper I have seen in the Premier League. The one game that always sticks out for me, unfortunately, is the season when Newcastle played with the 12-point lead, and it came down to the game at St James's Park, where literally Newcastle threw everything at Man United. And Schmeichel, I'll tell you what, they didn't just throw the kitchen sink at Newcastle. Schmeichel, they actually threw the old roof off the East Stand of them as well that day. And he still kept everything out. It was just the best individual goalkeeping display I've seen by a goalkeeper in the Premier League era. And that performance handed Man United the title that year. It just knocked the stuff out of Newcastle. I went with a back three. And I went with Nemanja Vidic. I just thought he was an absolute rock at Man United. I thought he was much better than Ferdinand. I actually think he made Ferdinand better than he was. I went with John Terry as well, like Alex mentioned. I just think he's probably one of the best English centre-halves of all time. And in the Premier League as well. He was a leader on the pitch as well. If he asked someone to do it, they would do it for him. And he was great in the air. It wasn't a bad goal scorer actually for a centre half. It was my third centre half, and I think he's probably one of the most underrated centre halves in Premier League. But I think that the rest of the lads that are on the panel, obviously, we're Newcastle fans, and I think for the 18 months we had him at St James's Park was probably the most defensively sound I've ever seen Newcastle. And the third one I went with Jonathan Woodgate. I think the only problem with Jonathan Woodgate was he became injury prone, unfortunately. But I just thought he was one of the most naturally gifted centre backs. The way he was able to read the game was just phenomenal. And the interesting fact is about those three at the back, right? They have all partnered Rio Ferdinand, and they have all been better than Rio Ferdinand. So that's hands down one of the reasons why Rio Ferdinand doesn't make the team. Sitting in front of the back three, I went with Vieira, and I went for Vieira over Keane, mainly because when Vieira and the Arsenal Invincibles went to that era, I always felt that Vieira had in his pocket. He was able to toy with him. But I also felt that Vieira could put the tackle when he wanted to, but he was also fantastic when he was able to spread the ball. He also chipped in the goals in box to box. So that's why I went for him over Keane. Regards the other two centre midfielders in the 3-5-2, I went with Gerrard goal. As Alex mentioned, goals is underrated in my opinion. If any Esther turns around and says to you, one of the best midfielders he's ever played against, that says it all for me. Some of the balls he used to play, some of the goals he scored, he was just fantastic. Gerrard, I think that speaks for itself. Some of the goals he scores for, he's a leader on the pitch as well. And it is always hard to leave Lampard out. He's scored the most goals for a midfielder in Premier League history, but I think it's been one of the biggest talking points over the years is which two out of those three play best together? And in my opinion, it was Gerrard and Scholes. For the wingers, I went with Ronaldo. Yes, he was a bit of a rough diamond when Alex Ferguson signed him, but he's always had an eye for a player, and he was fantastic when he came in from when he came in from Sporting Lisbon. Yes, I agree. Probably did odd bit more step overs than what he he probably dreamed of. But he was that typical flamboyant winger that Newcastle fans like. It's that gets you off your seat and can go past the man, score a wonder goal, put a fantastic cross in. And everyone knows what Ronaldo's went on to be. He's one of the best players in the world of all time. On the other side, I actually went for David Beckham, and I think it's the first time he's been included in any of the All 11. No, he was. I always thought he was fantastic down that wing. Hell of a set piece taker. He could put a ball on a six. His free kicks, he's a set piece. He'd get Man United some fantastic goals. He scored that wonder goal for England to get into the, against Greece in the last minute to sort of qualified for the major tournament. I can't remember the Euros, the World Cup. But that was fantastic. And you need someone to put a good ball into the two forwards, and the one of them who's fantastic in the air was the all-round best striker in Premier League history, Alan Shearer. Speaks for itself. Goes from all over the place, leader on the pitch, and to partner alongside him, Thierry Henry. Perfect. He was skillful, speedy, fantastically got it on the end of Shearer's flick-ons. He could score a goal out of everything, out of anything as well. So that's my 11.
Nice one, Rich. Nice one. And now I want to put them head to head. So it's a tough decision this week. There they are, head to head. But look, there's a lot of let me use my Neville character little bit of action with the pen and noting that Neville and character aren't in either team. But there we are. So yeah, there's a lot of similarity in the teams. So yeah, that is going to be interesting as we put that one to the vote. So yeah, what we'll do now is we'll put them up on Twitter, and we'll get people to vote which selection you'd pick. Anthony, lads, you want to say on the teams before we leave the teams?
I was just going to say both teams absolutely fantastic. I mean, do you know what I wanted to say? Well, a couple of things, not just solely on these teams, but I noticed that I think in every loaded 11 that I've seen, we've all picked Schmeichel. Or everybody picked Schmeichel, which is absolutely, credit to him, and it just shows what a fantastic keeper he was. But I also wanted to say what I thought was interesting. I know a few months back, Carragher and Keane, I think it was Carragher and Keane were picking the all-time Premier League 11, and I know Carragher was really keen to have the likes of Mane and Salah in, and I could be wrong when I say this, but nobody's picked Mane or Salah, have they?
No.
So,
not yet.
Interesting.
More to come. Thanks, lads, for that. Now, I have a question for Alex before we're going to play one of the Pacemakers tunes. Alex, do you have any gigs coming up in the next while? Anything planned? Or any working on any new material? Or
yeah, so we've got a gig on the 3rd of July. So that's first week after no restrictions, if it goes ahead. So that should be a fun one. That's at Burton Tower Brewery with another couple of bands. And we're doing a gig for charity on the 11th of September. And we're looking at doing a gig with Away Day Radio. You know, they put on an event in Coventry.
I do know about that one. Is it? Let me see.
This is unofficial.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I have the post. Is it this one here?
No.
A different one.
Oh no, sorry. They're putting on that one, but they were on about putting one on in Derby. So they were talking to me about where to do that. So we're looking at a venue and recommending some other bands. So keep a lookout on Twitter.
Keep an eye. Nice one. That's great, Alex. Of course, this goes, as we said, this goes out on the Way to Radio Saturday 1 to 3. So yeah, anyone listening, to keep an eye out for the Pacemakers, and we're going to play the Pacemaker. Yeah, we always wave for people on radio. It's our thing. It was a mistake to start with, but yeah. So keep an eye out for the Pacemakers, and we're going to play out one of your tunes, Alex. And thanks for coming on and joining us, and good luck against Richy this week.
Cheers, Alex. All the best, mate.
Hope to see you back for the next round. Thanks, Alex.
Take care,
Take care, Alex.
Here's the Pacemakers.
Faces are regrets. No more smoking cigarettes, but you don't care, do you? I guess you never did. Tell me things will never change. You act different, but you're still the same to me. You spin me upside down, you turn me inside out. You have me body broken, stuck in motion, soldier on retreat. Soon you'll never see the way that you left me. You have me body broken, stuck in motion, got you on retreat. Does it pay to hate? You wash away what a stay, what a waste. Your life ain't all that great. It's fate, it's too late. But you'll never change. What a shame, what a waste. Don't tell me I'll be okay. Whoa, spin me upside down, turn me inside out. You have me body broken, stuck in motion, soldier on retreat. Soon you'll never see the way that you left me. You have me body broken, stuck in motion, got you on retreat. Does it pay to hate? You wash away what a stain, what a waste. Your life ain't all that great. It's fate, too late. Boy, you'll never change. What a shame, what a waste. Don't tell me I'll be okay. Does it pay to hate? You wash away what a stain, what a waste. Your life ain't all that great. It's fate, it's too late. Boy, you'll never change. What a shame, what a waste. Don't tell me I'll be okay. Don't tell me
Nice one, Alex. Does it pay? Check the guys out. Check a few more on YouTube and on Spotify. And I know a few people were. I think it was Donald that was calling for a Take a Seat. We played that before, and that's also on our Spotify playlist as well, which all our tunes get added to that we play here on Loaded Football Weekly. I was going to say Radio Radio, so it's really getting into it there. Okay, I think it's time. We've kept the lads waiting long enough. I think Martin, you're going to do the little showpiece here. Are you ready?
Yeah, can do. Loaded tune.
Lovely, Martin. So it's time to bring the drift onto our screens and on to the radio as well. I guess if you're listening Saturday. So here is Matt. Here is Tyler. Welcome, Matt. Welcome, Tyler.
How's it going?
All good. And
Hello,
we'll try
boys.
Frank as well. Hey, Frank as well. Can you hear us? I know Frank.
Sorry,
He's
boys.
deaf.
Hang on.
All good.
There you are.
There we are.
Lovely.
I was just going to say there's always one in every band that can't work the camera. But anyway.
It's always the bloody
he's the
bass
one.
player.
He's not eating chicken nuggets. It's okay.
Exactly. Well, listen, fair play, boys, for coming on. I know certainly I've been bouncing back and forwards to you, and we were checking out songs and we were tweeting away and everything else. And obviously we're now starting to finally get our way through the bands that have all asked to come on. So welcome to Loaded Football Weekly. Delighted to have you on. Frank's gone already. He said, "Fuck that, I've had enough." He's gone. He's got the Chris Hall band going on.
He's gone to the ladies.
Yeah, he's gone. So tell us for those who are listening on the Radio Radio and those who are watching, tell us a bit about yourselves, lads. Who does what in the band? Obviously, we've established Frank is the bass player. So between Kyle and Matt, tell us what bits are you doing? Tell us about the band. How do you get together? All that kind of normal interview and stuff, and then we'll have a bit of crack.
Yeah, sound. Well, I'm Matt. I'm the guitarist and the singer and the mastermind behind it, just to piss Tyler off. Tyler's rhythm guitar and backing vocals, and Francois is our bass player and also backing vocals. Our drummer can't be here because he's on shift at the Grey Lantern, which you can catch us at in June.
There you go.
Nice plug there, Matt.
They're all disappearing now. It's like merry-go-rounds. Lads are just taking. So obviously, we'll wait for Tyler to come back on. We'll get him back on. Obviously, things are starting to open up now, and COVID is gradually, well, not fading away, but we're starting to open up. Obviously, me and Daz are in Ireland. The rest of the lads on screen are all. Chris is in Liverpool. He works for Avon. Richie's up in the northeast. Pete's in Leicester, and me and Daz are both in Ireland, one side of each coast. COVID opened up, so when things weren't so much opened up, how have you boys been working the music? Have you been writing and stuff, or what have you lads been up to while lockdown has been in full effect?
Well, it was like we formed on the back of the first lockdown, really. So I knew Luke, the drummer, I was in the previous band with him, and I knew Tyler from another previous band, and he happened to have this lad called Frank who was on the bass, and we all just got together, and I had these tunes demoed that I'd written ages ago. I was like, lads, I send the demo out to him. I was like, learn these, and let's get to practice at the Grey Lantern, who our manager owns, by the way. And he just said, come down, practice. And it was literally about 10 minutes, and we had 3 songs down. And we was like, right, we got some in here. And we recorded the first single, Going Up. That was released in October. And we did a gig then, our first gig, which we sold out. Even though it was socially distanced, that's the most we could do at the time, and everyone was mad for it. And we straight on BBC Introducing. And it's just been 3 singles after that, more tunes out. And then we've just got so many tunes. We've been rehearsing, ready for our headline gig of 2021, when we can get rid of this restriction malarkey. And get everyone going mad for it. You know what I mean?
Very good. How a lot of the bands that we've had on when we've been talking to them over the last few shows have kind of been saying that in a way COVID was a real leveler for bands because nobody's been able to get out and gig. Nobody's been able to kind of get one-upsmanship on another band or is getting a gig that maybe the other band was looking for. So how have you guys found that kind of to be the same kind of thing?
Yeah, it's been shit for everyone really, but we're lucky. Our manager owns the Grey Lantern, and he obviously we do all our headline gigs with him, and we rehearse there as well. And then soon as we release the songs, people are asking us to gig, and we've got so many gigs booked up this year. Obviously, one of them with you lot, which would be great. Away Day Radio in Coventry, that'll be a blast. It's all my workmates from there as well, and yeah, we've got loads and loads and loads. Some we can't announce yet. They're pretty big gigs.
It's been one of them, isn't it? Releasing songs but not being able to actually promote them properly.
Yeah. That was the hardest bit. We didn't want to drop a song.
Good input from Tyler there.
Get loads of streams.
He got his word in before he
him.
went anyway.
He's gone to get another beer.
He's gone on that. So one of the other things I always ask all the bands that come on, are you lads currently signed with anybody? Unsigned?
Unsigned, yeah.
Yeah, unsigned.
Unsigned.
We record everything ourselves. We manage ourselves apart from obviously Al, he's a hero. He looks after us. But yeah, we're unsigned, but I'm sure the right deal will come along very soon, won't it, Frank?
Oh no, definitely. I'll say even as amazing as he is as a songwriter, Matt, whenever, I don't know how he does it, we even recorded at the Lantern when no one could go in there. We'd spend like a few hours of one day, get all the takes done, and then you'd spend like the rest of the month mixing it, and then it'd come out just fucking amazing at the end of that month.
Yeah, month after, straight on Spotify, straight on BBC Introducing. So
yeah,
we're just waiting for the right man.
Saturday it'd be on there.
Right man with the right ears to listen to it and go, yeah, what we've been waiting for.
All right, very good. Well, listen, Daz, I think that's a real good opportunity. Let's get a tune on from the Drift. We'll see can we get some questions in. There is a couple there from some of the regulars, and then we'll open it up to the rest of the boys on the panel, Pete, Chris, Richie, and you, Daz, to ask a few more questions of the lads, and then we'll get into the quiz as well. So let's hit a tune from the Drift.
Yeah, my friend. I have a question. What song would you like us to play? We've got Downfall, Going Up, or Do You Feel Alive? Take your pick.
Do you feel
Give us our latest single, Do You Feel Alive? Yeah.
Do You Feel Alive?
That's our best so far.
Yeah, that's the newest one. Might as well.
Here we go.
Nice one.
Waiting for the sun to go down.
Great tune, lads.
Also that point.
Nice one.
Nice one.
Love that. Love
Yeah.
it.
Questions?
Don't sound bad for a pub, does it?
No. The questions are coming into the chat as well, actually. Sorry, Martin, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask the thing I normally ask. So, who are the influences, lads?
Ooh, tons.
Go on, Matt, you first.
Well, I'd say we all have our
Oasis.
individual ones rather than a whole sound. Don't
Yeah. Oasis, Kasabian, Rolling Stones, The Jam, Beatles, just the legends. It's hard to, you can't deny it and just go, oh, I'm into this. You know, it's the Kings, man. The Kings of rock and roll, and that's what we're trying to keep going on. That's our music.
Yeah.
Cheers. I have a question for you, lads. And this is a cheeky question because it might get you into trouble. With the, we'll plug the show again. With the concert coming up in the 29th of August in the Empire in Coventry, and when you guys are on the list as well for that one, who are you most looking forward to playing here? And I suppose that night as well, because we've had Jay Tennant on, we've had yourselves on now, and we've had the Institutes on.
All of them are class, to be fair. Jay Tennant's
good answer.
Yeah.
Institute's good. Yeah. Institute's a class as well. I need to listen to him more. I'm a nightmare for not listening to new bands. As mad as it sounds like we're a new band, we're trying to get out there, but I need to listen to more new music. But I know all of them are good bands, and it's good to be on. We're on a good bill, and it's nice to be second headline as well.
Yeah,
perfect slot. We can play that, and we're gonna have a few beers after as well.
Yeah, like I say, all of them are brilliant, but supporting a headliner, it's pretty class, isn't it? So looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and the Institutes are top lads as well. They're up for a laugh and a good crack. We had them on St. Patrick's Day on the show, and to be fair, I was pissed out my head, and they just kind of took over the show. I don't actually remember much of it. I have watched it back, and some of the things I said were way beyond the belt line. But
you fell asleep.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, but they were such a good laugh, and so it's kind of nice when you do get that interaction. But we've been the same. I know the other lads have got questions, but obviously before Richy was kind of fully on board, I spent a load of time over the weekends listening to Away Day Radio, listening to bands and stuff. And I still struggle to comprehend that the likes of some of the bands we've had on, likes of you guys, are not signed up. It just absolutely fucking baffles me that nobody out there is picking. And there's such good music coming across, England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland. There's some class bands out there at the minute, unsigned, and it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
Like Matt said,
it's mad
we write our own songs.
Like Matt said, it's
tunes, isn't it?
right place at the right time with the right person hearing it, and the other thing is that there's so much music out there at the minute. Like the amount of bands that are out there at the minute that comparing it to like the 80s and the 90s, there's so many more bands these days. But
yeah, there's a lot of choice out there.
Yeah, I suppose
trying to rise above the noise, which start a bit.
Yeah.
With lockdown,
there's a lot of noise.
Give people and bands time to write a few tunes and get together and work and stuff. Because the market is flooded. It's like YouTubers, it's flooded as well. Can
I ask a question, guys? You know what? I fucking love the name, The Drift. I think it's a fucking class name.
Nice one.
How did that come about? How did the name The Drift come about? Is there something in particular that made you think, oh right, that's the one?
Well,
we coming up with some bullshit in our group chat, weren't we?
Yeah,
we were saying
ridiculous names
like the A roads and stuff like that.
Dr. Toenail and all up dog shit. It was ridiculous. I hate coming up with band names.
That's one for you,
me and Luke and the drummer have had problems with coming up with band names for years. And then we was in the Grey Lantern, and there's loads of band posters around and blah blah. And he saw the word Drift, and he was like, "Why we called it Drift?" And then I decided, I was like, "Nah, I'm going to take it to the next level and I'll call it The Drift. And then
Real creativeness there.
it's one of them. We couldn't be asked to think of anything else.
Yeah, let's move it up a peg. Question there from one of the guys, Keith Rawle, who's a regular viewer. If you could collaborate with any artist or band, who would it be?
I think that's a personal one, isn't it? We're gonna have to go round.
All right, Tyler, start us off then. Who would you go with?
Oh, it would probably have to be someone like Kasabian or, one of the legends.
Surge.
Go straight up there. No messing around.
Yeah, no point messing. Frank, what about yourself?
I don't know too many local stuff or small time, but I don't know. I'd like to go quite outside of our comfort zone. Maybe someone like JK, someone from Birmingham, like a grime artist, or maybe or someone, or even like Georgia Smith, like a female singer.
Nice.
Yeah,
something like that.
She's a great voice. She's an amazing voice. Pretty cool. And then Matt, what about yourself?
Ian Brown, all the way.
Ian Brown, see straight in, no hesitation.
He's got bowls and he's just Ian Bill, yeah. Ian Bill all the way. Now, Ian Brown's got some balls and it's a stoner as well. And I think it'd just be a mad day in the recording studio with him. I think it'd be brilliant.
That would probably be a day where you do make a load of tracks, but you don't remember any of it.
Oh, no. It'd sound good at the time, and then next day I'll be like, what the fuck is that?
I'm going to one-up you with that then, Matt. Say Willie Nelson.
Nelson, there you go. There's a name now. All right, Daz, what do you want to do next? Do you want to throw another tune, or do you want to? Will we rip into the quiz for these lads, or what do you want to do?
Let's go for another tune. Yeah, and then we get the quiz.
We'll come back and do the quiz. All right, good stuff.
There's not many football questions.
There's a few, but if you put them up, so does everybody else. So I wouldn't worry about it, lads.
So I'm going to go for the downfall next, lads.
Tune.
Yeah. Tune.
Here's the downfall.
Never
Nice one, lads.
Oh,
well
loving
done.
this. The applause after every play.
We're just getting you back
Makes
into
a
the mode
difference.
for when you're actually gigging, lads.
I know, and shit our pants.
I've changed rooms. I've had
man.
to try and sort my signal out. There we are.
Any better, Tyler?
Do you know what? I wouldn't worry
Yeah,
about it
seems
now
a bit
because
better,
we're about to do the quiz, and Chris normally asks the questions, and as soon as we do the intro, his broadband cuts out. So you're not on your own, mate. We'll see what we can answer. Right, Daz, let's get this quiz going. See how good these lads are. Can they top the leaderboard?
Okay.
No way.
You ready, Chris?
I'm ready. Loaded quiz.
2.
What do we do?
Forgot
Just shout
the
the
two.
answers out? or what?
I get the 2.
I left the 2. Yeah, but I like that, Mark. Thanks for that, mate. You can keep doing that every week. It's good, though.
Thanks.
So let's bring up the leaderboard.
Okay, Daz, do you want to run through the leaderboards? Are you happy for me to do it?
Yeah, yeah, you can do it, Chris. Yeah,
Okay, mate. Okay, so in joint top position, we've got the Outcharms and Felix Hill on 17 points. We've got The Void in third on 16. We've got Garden Party on 15 and fourth. And we've got Jack Cattell in fifth with 14 points. And we'll soon find out about the Drift. Any news on getting Jay Tennant on as well? We're lining him up for the quiz, aren't we?
He's waiting. He's moving house. So he's going to wait till he's got settled and make sure his broadband's a lot better than it was last time.
Oh God, yeah, I know. I felt for him that day. It was bad, wasn't it?
There's a running theme on this quiz about broadband.
There is, isn't there? Yeah. Okay, boys. So I've got 13 questions here, courtesy of Rich. Thanks again for that, Rich. Really appreciate it, mate. And these questions are worth up to 16 points. Okay, and we've tried to be as generous as we can with you lads. I'm open. It's not going to be too difficult. Okay. So let's start. Question 1. Which artist released the album Hypersonic Missiles in 2019?
Sam Fender.
Straight in there, boys. I like that. Straight in there. Okay.
I love Sam Fender.
Question number 2. Which team won Super Bowl 48 this year?
No, not this year. Just 48.
This year.
That's a Frank question.
It would have been last
That's
year.
a Frank question. Go on, Frank.
Was it last? So was this last year or the year before?
No, it's not. It's about 7 years ago. I don't know why Chris pulled that from. It's not wrote on the question sheet.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is.
Wasn't it 50? It was 50 this year, was it?
Yeah, it was 55 this year.
Oh, 55. Jesus Christ. I'm going to say Seattle Seahawks.
Wow. Lovely answer. Lovely answer. Okay. So.
I wonder why you wrote that question, Richie.
We'll have to get started on the NFL show, Mark, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Yeah, we might have another partner.
Yeah.
Okay, question number 3. What do all the hosts on Loaded Football, apart from Martin, tend to receive on February the 14th?
What the?
Oh, it could be.
Roses.
Divorce letters.
I swear to God, I fucking wish. I tell you, lads, if that happens this year, I'll be in the Grey Lantern and I'll be in commentary for the 29th.
Go on.
I know,
Yes.
and me and the Drift are going on the piss for the day. I tell you that.
You fucking are, I'm telling you, mate.
I'm just waiting for
Oh,
the
no,
slipper
man.
to fly past the
Good crack,
screen.
get you
Mark.
over.
Right, I'm giving you the point for that, just for that answer. That was fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, okay. So,
sweet.
question number 4. Which is the largest capital city in Europe? Avon Pass.
You see, we didn't do well in
God.
in secondary school, mate. I'm telling you now. We were in the thick class, mate. The fucking
I know.
Oh, wait, no, in Europe.
Sorry,
we had the
man.
special scissors and everything where you couldn't cut people. Like, I don't know, Paris.
I'll give it a little clue. It's quite
Where
close
is it?
to home.
Yeah,
Oh, Paris.
yeah, I would say Paris or London.
What, in Europe? No,
What are you going for?
Are we in Europe now?
It
Are
could
we
be one of
including that
them.
in the answer or not?
Sorry, mate. Yeah,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is the
it's
largest
Europe.
We're
capital
still on the,
city
we're
in
still on the
Europe?
continental plate. We didn't get removed from the
I'd say-
continent.
We'll go with London. Go London.
It's not going to be
Okay.
London, but yeah.
Okay, boys. Okay. Question number 5. Which manager announced he would be leaving Wolves by mutual consent after Sunday's final Premier League game?
Nuno
Frank,
Spirito Santo.
Well done, boys. Well done. Straight in there. Okay. Question number 6. Which West Midlands team has finished highest in the Premier League this season?
Not
Villa,
us.
Villa, Villa.
That was a cool one, that
Villa,
wasn't it? That was a cool
Villa.
one.
We're not even in it. Baggy's got relegated.
Up the Villa.
Right. Question number
It's
7.
on
This
the
one's for 2 points, boys. Which 2 teams have played their home games at St Andrews this season?
Coventry and Birmingham.
Yeah.
Straight in, boys. Love it. Okay. Question number 8, and this is also for 2 points. Can you name the actor who played Thor in the recent Marvel films?
Oh,
I
Chris Hemsworth.
No idea. Go with. I was relying on Frank for this quiz, to be
Yeah,
honest.
Chris Hemsworth.
Frank's answered. He's got it. Frank got it.
Frank, why would the answer?
This is the
Okay,
right
for
answer. That's what it is.
Frank got it. But for an extra bonus point, can you name Thor's hammer?
Mjolnir.
Oh, I know this. Yeah, that's the one.
Flying, man.
Got that.
Flying.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
Okay. Next one.
Norse
Question
mythology,
number...
man. Norse mythology. Got to get into it.
Tell you what, Frank's a fucking dark horse here.
He's good, isn't he?
He was in
He's
and out
good.
to begin with, and he's absolutely. He's like a fucking
smashing the
he's
I,
like
answer.
a fucking
I don't know anything about
mastermind
sport.
genius.
I've answered all the sports questions, haven't I?
Right. Question number 9. Who is Birmingham City's manager?
Go on, Frank.
Lebo, yeah.
There we go. Question number 10. Which band had a single with Song 2?
Blur.
Blur.
There you
Blur.
go, Matt in there with the
Blur.
with the Blur one. Okay.
Totally
Question
big
number-
drummy.
Been watching the chase too much. That's what it is.
Question number 11, and again, this one's for 2 points, boys. Name 2 other bands who will be playing the away day radio gig on Sunday, the 29th of August, along with the Drift. So you had
The
a bit of a clue
Institute
before.
and
The
Athens.
Institutes.
Well done, boys. Well done. Okay, question number 12. Which team won last week's FA Cup final?
Leicester City.
Very good. And finally, question number 13. Which team does
I
Lewis
don't know.
Hamilton currently race for in Formula One?
Keeps chucking me off this thing. I ain't heard half the questions.
Mercedes.
Fucking.
You're doing well, anyway, Tyler. That's the main thing.
Very well.
Marlboro
Very
Facts. Fuck knows.
What was your final answer?
Oh, I don't know.
One of them.
Oh,
One of
go
them
with
already
Frank.
said the answer.
Did Frank say Mercedes?
I'm sure it was Ferrari and then he changed to Mercedes, did he? I'm sure he used to be
I
Ferrari and then he
definitely
changed to
heard Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Okay,
Mercedes,
boys.
yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, boys, good news. You got every single question right.
Go on,
Well
Frank.
Oh, go
Well
on.
done, Frank.
Go on.
Damn, man.
You proper took that down for us, didn't you?
That was a great tactic. Don't ask us any football questions on the quiz.
I know, yeah.
Proper dumb that down for us because we're like the thick class in it.
Yeah.
The dyslexic fuckers.
Too bad I didn't do that one in school, ain't it? Answering all them questions.
Right, boys, you've got a choice. You've got 2 choices now. So you can either for 4 extra bonus points, you can ask one of us or all of us a question, or I can ask you one final question, but it's only worth 2 bonus points. So you can. It's entirely up to you how you wish to do it.
What question do we ask you about? Because
I've got a question.
I could ask
Oh,
you
here we go.
anything
You want,
otherworldly that
anything
you
you
did
want.
not go into
Go on,
know.
we'll do it for
Is
4
this for one
points.
particular? Is this one particular person, Matt, or do you want to ask
I was
all
asking
of
for his
us?
number, innit?
To any of you, fair enough. I'll have your number after.
Get the ruler out.
Fuck her. Who's got the smallest chode? Nah, fuck it, right.
Guys,
We've gone downhill here, boys. We've
That'll
gone
be me.
downhill
Yeah,
here.
I know. You invited us on. What do you expect to happen? Right. Who got the first UK single, Oasis or Blur?
Ooh.
as in a number one, or just who released the first single?
Number one.
For some reason,
Oasis.
I think it's
Yeah,
Blair.
I'll say Oasis.
Yeah.
This is one of these. Yeah, this is one of these trick ones, isn't it?
It's not. So I have to Google the answer.
Oh god, I love you, Matt.
Right, come on, Pete. What do you think? You're the intelligent one
Yeah,
out of
go
our
on.
group, Pete. You're the teacher.
Go on, Pete.
Pete's frozen.
Pete's frozen. Yeah, he said that's his
He didn't
tactic.
shock with that question.
Richie,
Frozen
Richie,
Pete.
what do you
He's
think? Richie?
downloading the
Screenshot
data
that.
to his brain. That's what it is.
Do you know what?
They're all Googling now.
He's there. He's installing it all.
I'm not. There's my phone. I've got the show on. Look.
Yeah.
I think it's. I've got a feeling. I think it's Oasis, and I believe it was Whatever.
Yeah, I think
Wasn't
it's Oasis
Whatever,
as well.
but you're
Chris.
right with Oasis, but it wasn't Whatever.
Is it not?
It was.
Bonus
Doesn't matter,
points,
you got it
Phil.
right, Richie.
Bonus points for the correct song.
Ooh. Go on,
we
Mitch.
get,
Go
we
on,
get
Mitch.
bonus points.
I know. Yeah.
The negotiator.
Oh,
First number one.
I'll give you a clue. It's off the second album.
if it's off the second album, I think it's roll with it.
One of the most famous songs in the world.
Wonderwall.
Nope.
Shouldn't have said.
No, it's. I don't know what it is. It's not. It's Don't Look Back in Anger. Oh.
He said
Come
that
on.
dead confidently.
I'm going to make myself
hello?
look right, Dick, because I'm going to be wrong, and I.
The only other one, What's the Story, Born and Glory, that would be Some Might Say.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
Well done, Mitch. Lad.
very good.
Well done.
We got there. We'll take the point.
Nice one. So what is the final score?
So I think the final score. Well, we've got to give the lads a little extra bonus point there, haven't we? Because they proper challengers. So I reckon the
What-
final score should be 17. That's what I would
What was
say.
the- what was
17 in
the-
quiz.
To
What
be
was
fair,
the-
we only got half the questions, so I think it's,
Yeah, what was their score before the
16.
bonus question? 16.
16.
And
I reckon they
the
get 2 points. I reckon they get
I'll
I
two
was
give
just
them
going to
two.
say, if the bonus
Two.
question was worth 4, we only got a half. I say the lads have been good cracks since they've been on. So let's split the difference between Loaded and the Drift, and let's give them
Yep.
2.
Yeah,
Yep.
fantastic.
So that
Well
takes them
deserved.
2.
Yeah.
18.
18.
18.
Top of the leaderboard.
So the
Hey.
Drift hit the top. There you go.
Well done, boys.
Yeah, you can.
Congratulations,
well
lads.
done, later,
Well
lads,
done,
yeah.
boys.
Well done.
I'll be waiting on the bank
Nice one.
deposit later on in the day.
We'll be at
Thank
the
you
top of the
for
charts
the
for tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're actually headlining
Yeah,
now
yeah.
the show in Coventry, so that was your bonus.
Yeah. That's it, man.
And
Oh, yes, there we go.
will just say when you do get to that gig, by the way, the institutes are not going to be fucking happy that you've gone top. Enjoy the
So
day, lads.
always up for a fight.
Yeah. There was no
We're using their
music,
gear
there
anyway,
was
fuck
no
it.
police. All right, Daz, we put another tune on.
Yeah, we put another
Yeah, get
tune.
the one on.
Are you okay to stay around for a while, lads? Or do you need to head off? Or?
Yes.
Yeah,
I can
Yeah,
listen to another
I mean,
tune, but
Please don't
I
get it.
can listen to another tune, and then I've got to dip, lads.
No hassle, no hassle.
No worries, boys.
Matt's getting laid.
Yeah.
Here is
I've got
going
work
up.
tomorrow. Nice one.
No.
Morning and I'm up again.
Keno.
Nice one, the drift.
Well done, boys.
Nice one, lads.
Yeah, boys.
Oh, we've lost
Lads,
Tyler apparently again.
We've lost Tyler again. I think it's time to say goodbye as well, lads. Thanks for coming on and
Cheers.
joining us.
Cheers for having
Yeah,
us on,
lads,
man.
problem.
Dos.
No worries,
No,
boys.
really fun.
Get Tyler back again just to say goodbye too.
Lads.
Best of luck with the tunes in the future, and best luck with the gig with the Way It Is Radio on the 29th of August in Coventry. And we might see you back again, lads.
Yeah, man. We'll be back for the crack.
Nice
innit?
one, lads.
Yeah,
Take care,
exactly.
lads.
No worries. Thanks
Hopefully,
for coming on, boys.
Lads,
Cheers,
Lads,
boys.
Great crack, thanks.
Wait.
lads, I look
Cheers,
forward to
sir.
seeing- I'll actually be at the gig in August. So I'll have a drink with you after the gig.
Sound, mate. Yeah, look forward to it.
No bother.
There you
boys,
go.
boys.
Buy Richy a drink. Nice one.
Thanks very much,
You
lads.
will.
See you later.
Point.
Take care, boys.
See you later, lads. Good luck.
Yeah, boys.
And that was the drift. Great
Grand.
bunch of lads.
I
Lads,
love that
let's
name, guys. I love that
Yeah.
name.
you know.
Quality.
Let's go back, lads, because we've got so much more to finish off this show. We're going to go to, and I can't remember who says this bit. Chris, you can say this bit. No, sorry, Pete. It's Pete that's going to say this
Go
bit.
Pete, go Pete.
Loaded leaderboard.
Ah, Pete loved that last week.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So
this-
only reason he joined.
You're not wrong there.
So this is the last week of the selections, lads. And Chris, we missed your selections last
I
week.
know.
You've missed about 20 weeks of it. But
I faded, didn't I? I faded.
let's look where it was last week. This was where it was last week, and now look where it is this week after the last round of 20 games.
Daz, if you're
I'm off
still
the
on,
bottom.
that's just something wrong.
Off the bottom. But there's a right old battle going on top. For anyone listening on the radio as
Wow.
well, Martin is on top with 89 points. Richie's on second on 88. There's a real battle there going into the last round of the season. I'm on third, not last this time, on 81. And Chris could still catch me, and probably will catch me. Is on 78. So battle at the top and the battle at the bottom. So it's interesting going into that final day.
I called some talkers last week. I called some buttes.
You did, yeah, because you the first round of matches you like had 3, and then you got about 10 right in a row or something like that. It was absolutely crazy.
I called some freaky draws. In fairness, I can't remember who it was. But I remember looking at them and thinking, oh, yeah, I know I got that, and I got that, and I got that. So yeah, tell you,
nice one. Congratulations to NFC ladies as well.
Yes, well done, the ladies.
Well done,
Won
girls.
the cup.
5-1.
Won the cup even 5-1. Nice one. So let's go straight into this week's, and we'll let Pete run this and ask us our predictions. So Pete, and let me get rid of the banner so you can see it. Talk us through this week. I've mixed it up a bit.
Okay, so it's the final countdown. It's the big one. Okay, so they all kick off at the same time, so there's no discrepancies there. But what are we saying for the first game? Arsenal, Brighton. Baz?
I'm going to say Arsenal.
Okay.
I've discussed this in great detail with all my mates, and I'm going to tell you my bet at the end of this, by the way, because I've got a theory behind it. So, first one of my accumulator is going to be Arsenal.
Okay. Richie?
Arsenal for me too.
Martin?
I'm going to just go with all the outsiders. I'm going to go Brighton.
Well done on winning the leaderboard, Rich.
That's only
You'd be
one.
surprised.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, you're right, mate. You're absolutely right.
Wasn't me laughing this time.
Yeah, I know, mate. I know.
Pete, your thoughts as well?
You know what? I'm going to go with Martin. I'm going to go with Brighton. I thought with their players out that they were going to be absolutely shocking, but they still managed to pull out some results. And I've just got a feeling Danny Welbeck's going to score one against his
Come
old
back
club.
to haunt them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's exactly where my thinking is.
So yeah, I'm going to go Brighton. I'm going to go with Mark.
Cool, mate. Good call.
Sorry, the next game. It would be handy if I put it on screen.
Yep. Villa at home to Liverpool. What are we saying, Daz? What do you reckon?
Villa, Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Okay.
Villa, it's Villa, Chelsea, and I'm saying Chelsea.
Yeah. Chris?
This is a tough one, mate. Villa, believe it or not, Villa are just over 5-1 to win, which I think is ridiculous, by the way. With them having the home advantage and the fans obviously back in the stadium. Because I'm on the fence a little bit, I am going to say draw.
Okay.
I've
Rich?
won Chelsea because they want to guarantee a Champions League spot.
Yeah, good shout. Mark?
Yeah, I'll go Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chelsea as well because they need it. They're still in a battle for Champions League football, so I think they're going to go all out.
That's why I put the table up as well, so you could see that
It's good, mate.
comparison. Cool. Next one, Pete.
Next one, the big one, the most important one of all those fixtures, even though there's nothing to play for. Fulham at home to Newcastle United.
I'm going Newcastle. Toon.
Chris?
I'm going to disappoint you all, boys. And again, the second leg of my accumulator, but I'll wrap it up at the end. I'm going to say Fulham.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't fancy it from the start, if you don't remember. I didn't want this game to mean anything, and thankfully it doesn't. But no, I think Fulham beat us on Sunday.
Okay. Rich, what are we saying?
I'm saying Newcastle, but I will throw it out there. It would not surprise me if there's a draw because of the possible injuries we may have.
True.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
I lost you there. Martin, please, come on, give me some positives.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Pete, all the way. Fulham for me. Do you know what it is? I keep saying that I called Brighton the other week. I called Villa when they were a bit sticky Wolves. So yeah, I think we're going to have a few injuries, and you might see the likes of Anderson that in. So I know I hate to say it, but I actually don't fucking care because it doesn't mean nothing. So if it means I win the leaderboard, then I couldn't give a shit. So yeah, Fulham. Next.
You know what? Fuck you all. I'm sticking to my guns. Newcastle win, even without Maxi or Dubravka. I still think we'll win because Fulham are shite.
Yeah. No.
Okay. On to the less important games. Leeds, West Brom.
I am saying Leeds here because it is important to Leeds if they'll move, they could jump up a place there if they won that one. Overtake Arsenal potentially.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Leeds home win. I don't think Allardyce didn't do himself any favours, did he? I don't know if you saw his press conference when he said he wanted a job on Sky Sports. I mean, if you're a West Brom fan, that must have just been absolutely soul destroying. So yeah, I think Leeds comfortably beat them.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Leeds. I think they'll want to give Marcelo Bielsa and the home fans a good finish to the season.
Yeah, same. I think Leeds. And as for West Brom, I think Allardyce is like an old horse. He just needs to be put down and turned into dog food in France.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good shout. When you referred to Hodgson as a dinosaur, he's one of them that goes right alongside him.
Yeah.
He's finished in the game, and the sooner he's out of the game, the better. I think it's a full house. I go with Leeds as well, and I can see that being an absolute hammering as well. If I'm honest.
Yes.
Right. Okay. This is the big one. The big one. Okay. A lot riding on this game, particularly for the home team. What we're saying: Leicester at home to Spurs. Now, potentially Harry Kane's last game at Tottenham. Leicester need to win in order to get Champions League football. What are we saying? What do you think, Daz?
Oh, for me, I've already called this Leicester. The way Spurs kind of fell apart there at the weekend, Leicester for me.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, third leg of Miyake, Leicester home win all day.
Okay.
Yeah, Leicester for me. Leicester. There's so much on the table for them. Leicester.
Oh, okay. Martin.
I'm going to go Spurs.
I was waiting for it. I saw that little grin as we came to him. He knew.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to join you. So I'm
There
going
you
to go
go.
Spurs as well.
Yeah. Pete's windows are getting put out on Sunday.
You know what?
No,
They've
it's
just
normally
kept on as well.
I fancy Spurs, I have to say.
Honestly, I do think Harry Kane's going to pull out.
Harry Kane's one song. Yeah.
Yeah, say goodbye.
Son's your goal as well.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Liverpool, Crystal Palace. Liverpool not been great at home against some of the bottom half teams, but they're in the driving seat at the moment for Champions League football after that win against Burnley, which I'll be honest, I didn't think that they would get. But what do we think? Are we going Liverpool, or are we thinking Palace are going to go in and spoil the party? Daz?
Okay, it's the Roy's last game, former Liverpool manager. So yes, definite Liverpool win for me.
Okay. Chris?
Bit torn on this one because I really don't want a Liverpool win. That Alisson goal still annoying me from midweek. Still really annoys me. And Liverpool fans keep constantly saying that they're not a lucky club. It's just like unbelievable. I keep thinking of Istanbul, as some Liverpool fans call it, when they were 3-0 up and threw away 3-goal lead. Dwight Gale was playing for Palace at the time. I want to say draw, but I think no, I'll go Liverpool lone win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know that. Yeah. I'm going to go Liverpool as well. And just to back up what Chris was saying about Alisson's heading, it's also been bothering Joe Linton that he can't head a ball as well as a goalkeeper.
Jesus Christ, that was bad. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Martin, what we going?
Yeah, Liverpool.
Yeah, I've got to go Liverpool. I think
they'll have too much for Palace up front.
I think Palace have been on the beach for a while now. Sandals and all. So I think they're going to get a hammering to end the season.
Cool.
Okay, the champions at home to Everton. Now, Man City haven't been great as late, not been at their firing best, but they've got a Champions League final not long after. You've got Everton that are still fighting it out for Europe, all still to play for in that game. Daz, what we going for? What we thinking?
Okay, first of all, Pete, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm going to wave again to everyone on Radio Radio as we're coming up to the 2-hour mark, and we'll get cut off. We'll be continuing on, and you can follow us on YouTube. Go to our YouTube page and Loaded HQ and see how the rest of these predictions went, and we'll do a bit more after that. We go do a bit of overtime, and of course you're listening to this on Saturday, so the games will be on Sunday. So it's very important you come back and watch the rest of this. So yeah, for me, Pete, I looked at this one. In the end, I made my mind up. Yeah, Everton always throw things away, so I'm going with City, even though they're playing their second team.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I fancy City myself, and personally, I hope Aguero gets on the pitch and gets a couple of goals because I'd love to see him do it. So yeah, I'm going to say City.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree, City.
Everton.
What was Richy? Sorry, Rich. Did you go City?
Yeah.
Mark, Everton.
Everton. Yep.
Man City for me. They're going to go out with a huge win and lift the trophy. Next one on the list, we've got Sheffield United, Burnley. Okay, last game in the Premier League for a while, I think. Daz, what we thinking?
Oh, for Nathan Thomas, we go Burnley. Burnley, yeah, to compound the misery on Sheffield United. What a way to fall from where the highs of last season to this season. Yeah, so it's Burnley for me, I'm afraid. Sorry, Sheffield United.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, probably the toughest game to predict all day, I'd say, on the Sunday. So I'm probably going to say draw because you don't know whether Sheffield United are going to put up a fight, whether Burnley have down tools or want that extra 3 points. So yeah, I'm going to say draw.
Okay, Rich.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a narrow Burnley win.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah, I think Burnley will edge it. I think Woods and Vidra and stuff, they're flying with the goals and stuff. So yeah, Burnley for me.
Okay, I'm going to go Sheffield United. just because if I don't, one of my best mates who's a season ticket holder will have a go at me.
It's as good a reason as any.
I'm out on the lash with him tomorrow, so I'd get the stick if I didn't say United. However, they were god awful on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But, I'm saying they're going to win, and it keeps Burnley below us in the league. So thinking about that prize money, every little helps, particularly when we've got Mike Ashley in charge. West Ham, Southampton. Daz?
Yeah, I did it on this one a few times because I know that they think well, they could be caught by Spurs, I suppose. With the goal, with the goal difference. Yeah, no, I've gone for West Ham on this one, Pete.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, same. And this is the fourth leg of Miyake. I'm going to say West Ham home win.
Okay, Rich.
West Ham for me, please.
West Ham. No.
Based purely on form, I'm going to go for a draw.
Okay, so I'm going to go Southampton win. I just think that now the Champions League's out of touch, I think West Ham will fall apart. So Southampton are one of those teams that will just turn it on any given day, and I think that could be Sunday. Okay, and I think there is
last one. Yeah,
one more. Okay, Wolves at home to Man United. Now we talked about this earlier with the manager situation. Obviously, it's his last one in charge of the club. But Wolves haven't been great this season at all. I mean, you look at their form there. One win in 5. Not great. Against a high-flying Man United. Although defensively, they're crippled at the moment, right before the Europa League. Which way are you saying, Daz?
Yeah, and for this one, the Europa League was the deciding factor for me. I've gone a draw. The draw specialist are Wolves, so that's why I've gone Wolves. Draw, sorry, for that one.
Okay. Chris, what we saying?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because I've just looked at the league table there, and Man United have secured second now, haven't they? So it's a bit of a tough one. I'll probably say Man United have got too much of them, especially with Nuno leaving as well. I'll say Man United away win.
Okay, Richie.
Yeah, I'm going for the draw. Pretty much just because of the I think obviously Nuno's last game. I think they want to go out for performance, but with the Europa League final 3 days later, I just think that they'll want to put the best side out for the Europa League, so I'll go for the draw.
Mark?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a Man United win.
Okay. I'm going to go for a Man United win as well. I can see them playing a few kids, actually. But, I think they'll have too much for Wolves in this game. So, there we have it, the final countdown.
The final countdown is right, Pete, and I'm not going to be happy now with third position. I'm going for second. I reckon I could get second now with some of Martin's selections. Would that be some turnaround from bottom to second?
This is high.
Anyway,
I just wanted to add, mate. I know I was telling you briefly about a little accumulator I've got going.
Oh yeah.
Now, just to let the viewers at home know, me and Rich have been discussing for quite a lot of the season that we wanted to kind of do like a bit of a bet segment, and that's something that we're probably going to be doing for next season. But what I wanted to add in was for this weekend, and anyone who's listening or anyone who's interested in having a bet, the reason behind me picks. So I've picked 4 this week, and I'm going to be doing Arsenal at home to Brighton. And the reason being is because, believe it or not, which I found baffling, assuming that Tottenham failed to win at Leicester, which I don't think they will, Arsenal could actually finish above Tottenham if they beat Brighton, which for me is going to be a massive incentive for them. And, Tottenham fans will often say biggest club in North London and et cetera, and the fact that Arsenal, who've had such a poor season, and everyone's it's well documented they've had a poor season, could potentially finish above Tottenham. I think that's going to really spur Arsenal on, excuse the pun. Fulham against Newcastle again, as we spoke about. Newcastle have got a lot of injuries. We've got Callum Wilson out, Dubravka's a doubt, St. Maximin's a doubt, and obviously Fulham will have the home fans. I'm sure they want to give a good send off. Now that they're leaving the Premier League. My third choice was Leicester, at home to Tottenham. So obviously Leicester need the win, as we all know, to give them that slim chance of getting into the top 4. Spurs are just a mess at the moment, and obviously Leicester have got the home advantage with it playing in front of the fans. And with Harry Kane's news, I don't know whether the Spurs players might be turned off a little bit by it, or whether Harry Kane's kind of already thinking about his next club. So that was my third choice. And then finally, I've said West Ham to beat Southampton. again, I've been a big fan of West Ham this season, and I think it'd be a shame for them to play in front of their own fans for the first time this season and lose, because they've just done so fantastically well this season, West Ham. And it could be Jesse Lingard's last game for the club. So yeah, that fourfold of Arsenal, Fulham, Leicester, and West Ham pays just under 10-1. So I thought that'd be an interesting one for anyone at home who was interested in having a bet. And like I say, myself and Richy, maybe Pete, Martin, Daz get involved next season, and we're going to do a little bet segment.
Nice one, Chris. And keep your receipts, because Chris will reimburse you if it all goes wrong.
Well, that's why he has to rely on Avon, Daz.
I'll have to get out, do more orders, won't I?
Yeah.
No, I had two more segments, lads, but I'm only going to go with one because we were going to talk about the Hall of Fame, but I think we'll push that till next week or another show. I do want to touch on, and then Keith has mentioned in the chat, is the playoffs. So from the first leg, Bournemouth are 1-0 up on Brentford, and Swansea are 1-0 up on Barnsley, and those games are on tomorrow, the second leg. So keep an eye on those games. There's no Premier League games on tomorrow, so that's something to watch. And then, in the League One, Blackpool are 3-0 up against Oxford, and the mighty Lincoln City are 2-0 up against Sunderland.
Blackpool
before you go further, Blackpool and Oxford played tonight, and it was a 3-3 draw.
Yeah.
Through. See, when I made this. So So who's through?
Blackpool went through 6-3 in aggregate.
Yeah.
Oh, 6-3. Geez, wow. Oh, through was 3-0. Oh, nice one. That's a great update, Richie. I missed that completely. And obviously, then Sunderland are playing tomorrow at 3:30. Sunderland Lincoln. So one to keep an eye on as well tomorrow. Go on, Lincoln City. So that's one. Any thoughts on that, lads?
I think Sunderland will be packing the bags again. I think Lincoln will score, which means that Sunderland will score 4, and I can't see them scoring 4. Regards to the championship, I think the two teams that are ahead, I think will go through. I think will be Swansea, Bournemouth final.
Swansea, Bournemouth.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bournemouth could have scored more in the first leg. I think Brentford were lucky to go in 1-0, only at 1-0. But I think Bournemouth have got enough to see them off. So I see Bournemouth going through, and I see Swansea going through. I really hope Swansea win it, just because of Freddie Woodman. I'd love him to have a Premier League season with Swansea as the number one, and it would hold off him having to come back to the club straight away. In terms of the League One, there's only one winner for me, and it's not Sunderland. So yeah, I don't care what score it is, just as long as they don't go through.
Nice one, Pete. Okay, I'm going to leave that topic, lads, and we're going to go to a few things that are coming up. First of all, Richie, do you want to talk us through what's happening next week?
Yeah, on next week.
We're back on Wednesday.
Yeah, back on Wednesday, 8 o'clock next week. All the usual segments like loaded headlines. We'll have the final loaded leaderboard result. We may have mystery guests. We may have another presenter. We may have one less presenter. We never know. We'll also get round to the next round of loaded fan field, where we'll find out the result between myself and Alec. And we'll also find out who Chris will be going head-to-head with. Our loaded tune special guest next week will be Dictator. We will also take part in the loaded quiz, which the Drift went top of the leaderboard tonight. Social media-wise, you can follow us on Twitter at LoadedHQ1, on Instagram, LoadedHQ. Also on YouTube, you can subscribe to our Loaded HQ channel at www.youtube.com/c/LoadedHQ. If you like what you've seen on the show today, and also all the other Loaded Mags and the Newcastle review shows that we do, please give a like and subscribe to the channel. It will help us grow the channel and also increase our subscribers for our feature shows that we've got coming up this year.
Nice one, Richie. Very well done. I just want to also mention then as well that on Sunday, 8 o'clock, after the Fulham Newcastle game, we have Loaded Mag. So Loaded Mag will be back, and join us there. We'll have a roundup of the game and talk a bit more about whatever's happens to be happening at that stage. And also coming up on Loaded Mag, maybe about a week later. So we've no fixed date for this yet. We'll do an end of season roundup. We'll get a few people to join us, and we'll talk about the season and all the happenings, and throw in a few of them there into the picture. So yep, that's one to keep an eye out for. If you subscribe, then you'll see when it happens.
I'll tell you what, Jazz, I'm loving Shelby's new hat, man.
Yeah,
I love that.
You noticed that, did you?
I did, yeah.
I can take off the way it is there, just so you see that you see it properly. Hey, there he is. Nice one. So, Anthony, lads, you want to say as we round off the show?
It's been a great show, hasn't it? I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually want to give a shout out to me son's school, who they actually got through to the final of the England Schools Under-18s Cup this week. Unfortunately, they got the final, drew 2-2, went to penalties, and unfortunately they lost on penalties in the Under-18 Schools final. So I'd just like to say well done to all the lads at Parkview Sports Academy.
Well done, lads.
Well done.
Well done, boys.
Great effort, guys.
So, Pete, your first official show with us as a fully fledged member. Hope you enjoyed it, mate.
I really did. Yeah, it's been a great show. Like I say, I thought the Drift were quality, real good laugh with those lads, and a surprisingly positive quiz puts them right at the top. Champions League football. So just all in all, just a great show. Thanks for having me. Look forward to plenty more in the future.
Exactly. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks lads for joining us here tonight, and thanks everyone in the chat and anyone looking back. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you later. Take care.
Night, everyone. Night, lads.
See you guys.
Bye bye.